The narrative begins with a professor working hard when he is visited by a representative from a pharmaceutical business. The man mentions how the professor appears to be overworked, but it is apparent that his research is world-class. Many patients will be rescued as a result of him producing new drugs. We are then shown what motivates a professor as he recalls his younger sister. He watched as the doctors gave up on her after finding her sickness was incurable. Since then, the professor has committed his entire life to develop new treatments, rarely sleeping, and relying heavily on food and energy drinks to keep himself going after finishing a task. The lecturer would make a notation on his wrist and take a 46-minute break. It's been a long since he's actually engaged with a patient, and he fantasizes about the day when he'll be able to become the town pharmacist. His aide, however, would return the next day to discover that he had died. The professor would later awaken to discover a female by his side who said he had been hit by lightning, which the professor immediately noticed. As he realizes what has happened, his voice changes and his heart accelerates. The girl would then tell them that his name is actually Falma de Médicis. Falma doesn't remember much, but he thinks that he must have died from overwork in his previous life. The girl introduces herself as Charlotte and discovers unusual tattoos on Falma's body. She thinks it's a holy mark, but he says it's simply a lightning burn. On the other hand, Charlotte is certain that Pentheus, the god of medicine, was protecting him. She is disturbed to see that he has forgotten basic world information and agrees to assist him in recalling it. Falma is a member of the vast Médicis family, which includes royal pharmacists. His father, Bruno, is a skilled man who is the head of the Imperial School of Pharmacy. Falma's mother's name is Beatrice, and his sister's name is Blanche. He has an elder brother named Paul. However, he is presently studying abroad at the world's most prominent medical school. Charlotte then discusses the sacred arts, feats thought to be works of the gods. Charlotte feels concerned as it appears that Falma has forgotten all about it. The ability to perform sacred arts is a badge of nobility, and she thinks he won't be recognized if he can't remember how. Later, as a noble and being forced out of the estate, the farmer recalls how she had taught him that he can use the divine art of water and must make a mental image of the form of water to use it. He tries it by envisioning the molecular structure of water and discovers that his markings begin to light. Falma panics as water begins to pour uncontrolled from his hands and directs it outside after begging it to stop. It finally happens, and he notices that Charlotte has been wet by it. She is relieved to find that he recalls how to employ the sacred arts and doesn't mind being wet because he watered the garden for her. Falma is surprised by how simple it is and decides to attempt manufacturing more things. He discovers that he can create simple substances and compounds, such as gold and sodium chloride, but not mixtures. His left hand can produce substances, while his right hand can destroy them. Charlotte arrives to celebrate, but realizes that he must have also forgotten all of his medical expertise. This is especially troubling because his father frequently launches surprise exams on medicine over meals. Charlotte leads him to their library and explains that he has had special education in pharmacology since childhood. Falma is startled to discover that he understands and remembers what he has learned. He then joins his family for dinner, and as they all express relief that he has regained Falma, they can't help but sympathize. Knowing that this family has lost a true son, he decides he must continue to live as Falma for the sake of everyone. As predicted, Bruno understands the pharmaceutical used to help him heal, and Falma passes effortlessly. His father is pleased and instructs him to resume his education. The next day, while doing homework, he meets his tutor Eleanor, who sees something is wrong. He's not as calm or charming as he usually is. Still, she backs off when Falma explains that his memory is only confused after lightning strikes. That being the case, she decides they will review the fundamentals of sacred arts. Those with the aptitude for sacred arts each have a guardian deity for him and their father, which is Pentheus, but for her, it is Hydrus. The sacred arts have 5 attributes: fire, water, air, earth, and none. There are also positive and bad traits for each. Falma wonders about the none attribute, but not much is known about it, and it hasn't been observed in 300 years. He then wonders what someone with the ability to produce any substance would be like, and she simply responds it's impossible. After that, everyone like that would be regarded as a deity or a devil. Eleanor can't believe Falma forgot to bring his divine wand, which is used to augment and manipulate the arts, so she lets him borrow hers. She wants him to launch a water spear, but he can't remember how, so she shows him how. She tells him to speak the magic aloud, and Falma prepares to make his first effort. Falma manages to unleash a potent blast of water to their amazement, sending Lenore flying and leaving them both in shock. She couldn't understand how he could utilize such power without invocation. She becomes concerned when she explains that the total divine power a person can use in their life is fixed, and he may have used all of his. She uses a meter to see how much he has left, but is scared when it breaks. Eleanor explains that it was a colorless capacity break with positive and negative characteristics. She has no idea what it implies because no one has ever exceeded it. The meter before Falma tries to explain that the markings on his arms are simply burns, but she knows that they are Palacio's sacred markings. She explains that he would never be able to grasp another meter again, and that he must keep everything hidden from everyone. Following that, Falma guides her when she finds she has lost her glasses. She is trembling, but she excuses it on her poor vision. He would then teach her how to help with her vision so that he could identify that she had a sprained finger. Falma finds that medical conditions glow blue, and when he discovers the source, the color changes to white. She is startled and adds that practice perceives all illnesses and grants medicine. Falma appears to have Pan-Action's divine eye, and Eleanor is terrified because that power is not human. What's more terrifying is that she notices he has no shadow. This pushes her over the line, and she flees for her life later. Falma's father demands that he take some medicine to Eleanor, who informs him that she is sick and has decided to quit. Tutoring entirely, Falma pretends not to know why and agrees to do it. When he visited her house, he would decide that the medicine wouldn't help her fever and prepare his own. Eleanor begins to suspect that he is there to eliminate her for knowing his secret. Falma explains that he is carrying medications ordered by his father, but she suspects he is trying to poison her. He's also brought the medicine he produced and ointment for her Jan finger, but she suspects both are poison. Falma explains that he would never harm her and still wants her to instruct him. She claims he doesn't need to learn anything because he is plainly an incarnation of Pinocchio's. But Falma is positive he is still human. She promises to keep all of his secrets safe for him in exchange for sparing her awful existence. Falma admits that he can't control his skills yet and would like her to continue educating him because there is little literature on the sacred arts. However, it appears she has already made up her mind. Hence, he apologizes for scaring her and subsequently praises her for everything she has done for him. She debates taking medicine he offered her, but the god Pan-Actions is known for being gentle, so she decides to trust him. They meet soon after, and Eleanor explains that she must still defend herself because of her training. Someone like him may be harmful. Falma is grateful, but she says she didn't have a choice because she would feel guilty if he lost control of his great powers. In fact, she is grateful because his medicine worked much better than his father's. The two then travel to an uninhabited island where Falma can learn more sacred arts without fear of his secret being exposed. Control is difficult for him, but the two are hopeful that it will come with time. That's it for this part, so let's wait for the next one to see how things go. In the meantime, subscribe to the channel and don't miss out on the other entertaining anime videos. Peace out.